What's going on today, people? Today we're going to look at this mechanical brake. It's from an old go-kart that I picked up, and I was struggling real hard to figure out if I was missing pieces to this because it was very old, very rusty. A lot of surface rust, and then there were parts missing. So we're going to take it apart, see what's all inside. All right, apologies for the messy garage here, but it's all right. That's what happens when you actually do some work. So first, we're going to take these two bolts out. That's what holds it together. It's two halves here to the brake. We got the caliper, and then, well, I guess the whole thing is the caliper, but this half is the part that has the lever that moves everything. So let's pop these out first. Might need to use a hammer. This other one. Let's see if that helped. And everything fell apart, but that is okay. That's what we're here to learn. All right, so we will look at that part first here after we get this ready to go. I changed my mind. We'll look at this part first. This is just the other half of the caliper. Its sole purpose is to just hold brake pads, which we have here. They're rather thick. And they just kind of slot in there. That's the whole thing. That's it. Doesn't do anything else. Doesn't move. Just holds the brake pad. All right, this is the interesting part. So the caliper gets mounted on the go-kart or mini bike or whatever you're using this on. And let's loosen this here. This is how you adjust the brakes. All right, so we have this lever here, right? And this lever is usually, maybe you've mounted it this way. You got the brake pedal over here, so you'll mount a rod or something from here to your brake pedal so that when you press the brake pedal forward, it engages this lever, like this. Now, the reason you want to do that, let me see if we can get a good view in there. Actually, give me a second and I will pop this out. All right, let's take a look at this again here. So I did pop the lever out. All it is a pin here, and that pin goes through the other side. So all I had to do was, I took this little punch thing and punched it out with the hammer, and then it just pulls out. Now there are some little retaining ridges in there, so this will come all the way out if I, hit it more, but I'm gonna leave it in there. So it's just a little pin for something to pivot on. Oh shit, all right, there we go. Anyways, that's out. And then we have our lever. So remember, the lever's sitting in there like this. Now if we take a look at the lever, this is the part that is pivoting on the pin. It's kind of wedge shaped. See if we can get that some good focus there. So yeah, it's just a little wedge right here. And what that does is when it's sitting in there like this, we have our bolt. This is our tightening bolt. This part of the bolt is rounded, right? So it sits right like this. And as you move the arm through the swing, it kind of ramps up on this little ledge. So it goes, whoop. But because this part can't move, it's been threaded in. When you ramp it up there, this kind of moves to the left. And you have this other piece that's also rounded here. Then this is the piece that I was missing and I could not find. That just sits right in there, right? So you have your lever. Let's see if we can do a little demo. And your two rounded edges are touching. And as you move the lever, this one can't move, remember. It forces this one this way. Kind of just like you're splitting something. And what that does is that we will have, here, I'll put my finger back there. This is where the other half of the brake pads go. Remember, we had one set of brake pads over here. And we have this metal plate because, well, first of all, brake pads are not super strong. They're good for rubbing and braking and that sort of thing, but they're not good to press against. So we have this little thin steel plate that just sits like this. And you can see if I push my finger up and down, this goes in and out. And that is how you actuate your brakes. So remember, we have this little ball in there. Here's our slot, our lever. And as it slides up that piece, you'll push it in and out, right? It's going to fall out as soon as I do this. I suspect that's why I have I was missing this piece is because it's really easy to lose. It falls out all the time. But, so you have your metal plate, then you put your other brake pad, and then it's gonna look something like this, right? So, let's put it all back together here. We'll put in our tightening bolt a bit. And this bigger nut is like a lock nut. So we can, let's show you here. We can move it to about there. And then once we tighten this down, now we cannot turn this because it's creating that tension. Okay, gotta put the pin back in. You can swap sides, you know, if you need to do that. You can put it in the other hole if you need to mount this on this side rather than this side. But mine was over here, so I'm gonna leave it over here. We'll get this out of the way just because it's kind of blocking me. So just put that in a little bit. The lever. Whoop. Rolling away. And then we can just take a hammer. And you can see we're through already. I just need to pound it into this side. So let's take a hammer. Ooh, that's loud. And if you want, you can do one punch just to be sure that's in there. So, lever's back in. All right. Kind of floppy. Now we can put this one in. This is remember our adjustment screw. As you can see, we're getting in there. Wish I had some better lighting for this. All right. And that's good. So now we can drop in our little nubby piece. And what I was doing earlier, oh man, this is gonna be, let's see if I can move you, get some better lights. Maybe. But you're sliding it up and down on the lever and it's moving in and out. See? Like that. So now if we drop in our metal plate and then our brake pad, it's a little wobbly here, but once we get it tightened up on the brakes, it'll be all right. And you can see it's moving just like that, right? So you can see right here that there's not much sticking out, but if I go ahead and tighten this screw here, it's gonna shift the whole lever to the left, which pushes in that little nubby bit, and we'll get more brake pad out. See that? See that? So once your brakes start wearing down, you can tighten this up and then lock it down. And now we still have the same throw, the same movement, but more of the brake pad is sticking out. And that's how you adjust it for once you wear down your brakes. But for now, I'm gonna loosen this, and I had them just clamped together because I wasn't ready to put it on the actual go-kart yet. So we're gonna get that down in there. And then we just kind of, how did we do that? We tightened it really a lot, and then there we go. Yeah, so there's only so much you can tighten this until the actual lever is touching this wall. After that, there's no more adjustment. So we'll just do that for now, and then when we put the pieces together, nice, we caught them. The brake pads are touching. So once this goes on the go-kart, we can back that off so that we can get the brake disc in there. Put our bolts back through so something doesn't fall apart. Oh, this one's stiff. I'm gonna have to fix that a little bit, but there we go. All right, and now we have our brakes in there. Now I can't really show you how it'll work in here because it'll fall out. Can loosen it a little bit maybe. You can see that now that we're touching brakes to brakes, I can adjust this so that I can't get all the way through the stroke, all the way through that whole opening there because we're squishing the brakes together, which is good. That's how you stop. But that's it. It's the whole thing. All right, now I do want to point out, well, the brand of this one is Airheart, A-I-R-H-E-A-R-T. I don't know if it's an older brand or something. I do want to point out that these brakes, They're easy to fix. They get the job done, but they're not as powerful as hydraulic brakes. So if you're really going for that extra stopping power, you know, if you want to start hitting some drifts around the turn, you might want to upgrade to some hydraulic brakes. But these will get the job done, and they're super easy to fix. I just took the whole thing apart, put it back together, and however long this video takes, not very long. And I didn't need anything other than like a hammer and a punch, and then, you know, maybe some pliers for the nuts. So that's it. Hopefully this helped somebody, because I was struggling to find everything. And good luck with your build.